Their shattered composure isn't heartbreak, it's the echo of centuries roaring through your veins, a cosmic reckoning they never saw coming. Every lie they spoke, every betrayal they thought was buried, is now rising like smoke from sacred fire. Your presence is an activation, a living altar of consequences. They're not just facing you, they're facing the spirits, the elders, the forgotten cries of your ancestors, demanding redress. No performance, no manipulation, no crocodile tears can rewrite what's been encoded in your DNA. You are the walking verdict. What they mistook for isolation was divine formation. Every silence, every setback, every lonely battle was your ancestors aligning stars and sharpening your sword. They thought they cornered a single soul, unaware they had entered sacred territory, guarded by forces older than fear itself. You are the descendant of visionaries who spoke to storms, of warriors who wrestled darkness with bare hands and left blueprints in your bones. When you rise, it's not just you. It's the culmination of lifetimes breaking through in one breath, one glare, one move that shifts dimensions. Now the laughter has died in their throats, replaced by the haunting silence of undeniable truth. The very energies they mocked now surround them, exposing every shadow they tried to hide. What they once called madness was prophecy. What they labeled delusion was sacred foresight. They didn't realize the divine doesn't announce itself with grand displays. It whispers through the chosen, cloaked in humility and fire. You weren't seeking approval, you were issuing warnings from realms their egos couldn't penetrate. And now, as the spiritual veil lifts and the unseen becomes unmistakable, they're finally recognizing that your so-called madness was mercy. They're finally realizing this isn't coincidence, it's consequence. The same realm they mocked now moves with precision, exposing cracks in their foundation they thought were hidden. What they dismissed as superstition has become the force unraveling their false sense of control. Your bloodline's ancient covenant speaks in signs, synchronicities, and spiritual precision, and now it's echoing in their downfall. Every loss they face, every inexplicable shift, is the unraveling of karmic debt they thought they'd escaped. You warned them not from pride, but from position. Your authority wasn't self-appointed, it was inherited. And now, the divine scales tip in full view, balancing centuries with a whisper. They replay every word you spoke, now drenched in a truth they were too blind to see at the time. Words that once seemed cryptic now ring like sacred warnings etched in divine rhythm. In private, they search for meaning in your silence, hoping to decode the power they once dismissed. Their pride is crumbling beneath the weight of hindsight, and every moment they ignored your grace now haunts them like a missed lifeline. They mocked what they couldn't comprehend, and now they bow to what they can no longer deny. You weren't just a messenger, you were the mercy before the storm. While they clamored for attention, desperate to be seen, you moved in alignment, guided by forces they couldn't name, let alone challenge. Your silence wasn't weakness, it was sacred strategy, a stillness that held storms, a calm that concealed cataclysmic authority. They flaunted ego while you embodied essence, and now the contrast is undeniable. The same presence they once overlooked now feels like judgment in the room, a mirror too sharp for their illusions to survive. You didn't need to prove anything, because real power doesn't compete, it commands. And now, without lifting a finger, you've shifted the atmosphere. They failed to realize that mercy has limits, and you were its final extension. Every time you held your tongue, every moment you gave them grace, was a choice, not a deficiency. They mistook your restraint for incapability, unaware that lions don't roar at flies. But now, the energy has shifted, and the same calm they once disrespected has become the force that dismantles their illusions. You never needed to assert dominance. You are the dominance they feared but couldn't name. And now, as the boundaries they crossed recoil with divine force, they're learning that even silence has a sharp edge when it's backed by sacred power. They underestimated the potency of your harmony, the seamless fusion of creation and destruction, of mercy and wrath, all pulsing through you like a living current. You are not a dichotomy, but a unified force, the embodiment of cosmic equilibrium. Where others falter, torn between opposing forces, you stand as the perfect vessel, one hand holding the seed of life, the other ready to uproot the toxic weeds that threaten growth. Your gentleness lures them into a false sense of security, while your unyielding power lies in wait, poised to strike with the precision of celestial law. You are the quiet before the storm, the whisper before the thunder, capable of both healing the world and reshaping it with a single breath. They now tremble in the shadow of their own ignorance, unable to comprehend the depth of the power they once dismissed. They thought you were just another face in the crowd, another fleeting presence. But now they know, beneath your calm, there exists a force with roots stretching deep into the cosmic fabric, an ancient power capable of bending time itself. Your smile was never an invitation, it was a shield, a mask for the storm within. The calmness they mistook for submission was nothing more than a predator's patience, waiting for the opportune moment to dismantle everything they built on falsehoods. And now, the universe shifts with your every thought, and the ground they stand on is no longer safe. Now they stand in the wake of their own blindness, realizing too late that they never understood the depths of what was within you. Like those lost in darkness, they couldn't perceive the light that was always glowing just beyond their reach. Their inability to recognize your strength was their downfall, a cosmic oversight they can no longer ignore. What they once dismissed as subtlety has become the force of their undoing. The universe is in motion, realigning, recalibrating, and with every passing moment, the scales tip in your favor. This is the reckoning that occurs when arrogance meets divine truth, and now they face the consequences of their disrespect, their betrayal, and their spiritual ignorance. The balance is being restored, and the correction is as inevitable as the sunrise. Now they find themselves lost in the very shadows they cast, fumbling to reclaim the light they once stole. Their egos, once towering and impenetrable, now crumble under the weight of their own deceit. What they once saw as dominance was merely a fragile facade, built on the exploitation of truth and the distortion of reality. They mocked your wisdom, erased your voice, and twisted the narrative to elevate their hollow selves. But the world, and time itself, has a way of unraveling lies, and now they must face the truth they sought to bury. The roles have reversed, the stage they once controlled now exposes them as the true villains in a story they can no longer rewrite. Now, they are forced to confront the consequences of their haste, their arrogance, and their manipulation. Divine timing unfolds with a patience that leaves no room for escape, and as their fragile empire begins to crumble, the weight of their deceit bears down on them with crushing certainty. The false power they wielded, the borrowed strength that once carried them forward, is being reclaimed by forces beyond their control. Each lie they told fractures the ground they stand on. Each mask they wore peels away to reveal the darkness they thought they could hide. They thought they could outrun the reckoning, but the universe moves in its own time, and now they stand exposed, powerless against the tidal wave of truth they can no longer deny. Watch as the very fabric of their existence begins to unravel with a precision only the universe can orchestrate. Chaos entering their life like an unseen force, dismantling all they once held dear. The doors they thought locked are flung open, their hidden sins laid bare for all to see. What they once controlled slips from their grasp, slipping through their fingers like sand. The facade they've built around their health, their wealth, and their relationships begins to crumble, leaving them exposed to the consequences they thought they could evade. Each effort to regain control only deepens their descent, as if the universe itself is aligning to remind them of their transgressions. They cannot run from the cosmic balance, and now every corner of their life reflects the divine retribution they never saw coming. Your ancestors foresaw this moment. their wisdom encoded in every cell of your being, preparing you for the battles of today. They pass down sacred tools, hidden prayers, ancient rituals, and powerful spiritual technologies that now awaken with divine precision. The blood running through your veins is not just your own, it is the culmination of generations who lived, fought, and protected with relentless purpose. These fail-safes, embedded in your spiritual DNA, activate instinctively, sealing your protection the moment malicious intent dares to cross your path. When darkness seeks to harm you, the forces of your lineage rise like an impenetrable shield, restoring balance and ensuring no weapon formed against you can prosper. They once scoffed at the idea of ancestral power, mocking the very forces that have now turned against them. They saw only what their limited minds could grasp, an illusion of control, believing that the unseen realms held no sway in their world. But now, the universe has shifted, and the invisible forces they dismissed have become their greatest terror. With each passing moment, the foundation of their empire cracks, not from what they can perceive, but from the ancient, unseen energies that are relentlessly at work, unraveling their every move. The terrifying truth is not the chaos they can witness, but the subtle, cosmic precision that is stripping away their illusion of invulnerability, leaving them powerless in the face of forces they can't fight or even understand. They can no longer ignore the feeling of unseen eyes upon them, an eerie presence that lingers just beyond the veil of their perception, watching every move. Sleep eludes them as nightmares claw at their subconscious, each one leaving them trembling, unable to voice the horrors they've glimpsed. The whispers they hear, low and urgent, carry names from realms they cannot name, ancestors and spirits calling out with an authority that silences their arrogance. Objects shift without reason, lights flicker with deliberate intent, and their devices malfunction at the precise moment they attempt to ignore the signs. The universe is sending a message they can't escape. This one is not alone. This one is shielded by forces far beyond mortal understanding. The time for disrespect is over, and now they must face the consequences of their actions, consequences that defy the limits of their comprehension. You are the embodiment of divine equilibrium, the rare intersection where light and shadow coexist in perfect harmony. Unlike others who falter between extremes, you have mastered the art of balance, seamlessly shifting between creation and destruction, nurturing and annihilating, depending on the call of the moment. Most can only embody one aspect of their nature, either bathed in light yet blind to the necessity of shadow, or consumed by darkness with no capacity to bring forth the light of transformation. But you are the fulcrum of the universe, the dynamic force that knows when to soothe and when to strike, when to build and when to tear down. Your power doesn't need justification. It is the completion of existence itself, moving fluidly between realms, a force that can rewrite fate with a whisper or dismantle illusion with a single glance. They thought they understood you, viewing you as simple, predictable, a one-note presence they could easily categorize. But now, they tremble at the vastness of your being, the layers they never bothered to peel back. Your words are not mere sound. They are conduits of creation and destruction, capable of healing what was once thought lost or unmaking what no longer serves the greater balance. In your presence, dreams rise from the ashes, and false realities crumble like dust. Your tears hold the power to purify, and your laughter reverberates through the fabric of time, dismantling the facades they've built for centuries. This is the essence of your existence, the ability to wield both light and shadow, to shape and to destroy with the same breath. They never realized the depth of your duality until now, and it terrifies them because they can no longer control what they cannot understand. They tried to simplify you, to define you within the narrow constraints of their understanding, thinking they had unraveled the essence of your being. But now, they're faced with the staggering realization that you are far more than they could ever comprehend. The healer, the nurturer they thought they knew, is a force of divine warfare, wielding a blade that cuts through dimensions with surgical precision. The observer they underestimated is the architect of realities, capable of shaping worlds with a thought. This is why they cannot predict your movements, why their schemes always falter in the face of your unspoken power. They are trying to play a game they don't fully understand, with half the pieces missing, and they'll never win against forces that exist beyond their perception. Your every step is a mystery they cannot solve, and every attempt to control you is swallowed by the vastness of your cosmic design. Your spiritual duality is not merely a reflection of your inner power, but a cosmic blueprint, a divine strategy woven into the very fabric of your being. You are not confined to a single role or energy. You are a living manifestation of divine adaptability. When the world calls for mercy, you answer with boundless compassion, offering solace to those who seek it. When the balance of the universe demands structure, you become the unyielding force of cosmic law, ensuring that harmony is restored. And when the energy of healing is needed, you become the conduit for universal life force, channeling restoration and vitality to all who come into your presence. You do not react based on emotion, but with the clarity of divine purpose, each response crafted to fit the exact need of the moment, a living testament to the perfect orchestration of the universe itself. When the time comes for eradication, you become the flawless executor of divine justice, sweeping away what no longer serves the greater good with unwavering precision. Those who have only encountered one aspect of your nature, whether the healer or the nurturer, remain blind to the vastness of your power. But those who have witnessed the full scope of your spiritual expression are never the same. They walk away with eyes that see beyond the ordinary, their understanding of the universe forever expanded. To witness the fullness of your being is not just a revelation, it is a transformation of the soul itself. It is a privilege few will ever experience, a sacred encounter with the truth of what exists beyond the illusion of this world, and it leaves them with an unshakable awareness of the forces that govern existence, far beyond human comprehension. Chosen ones, pause for a moment and take action. Subscribe to the channel and share this message with those who need it. This is your moment to transform, where your dreams align with action and the impossible becomes possible. You're no longer held back by fear or what others expect of you. You are stepping into your true power, strong, unshaken, and limitless. Every challenge you've faced and every victory you've won has prepared you for this defining moment. The strength within you, once hidden, is now awake and driving you forward, inspiring everyone who sees your journey. With every decision you make and every step you take, you send a message to the world. You are here to create, to lead, and to leave a lasting impact. This isn't just another chapter in your life. It's the start of a legacy built on courage, passion, and belief in your purpose. Trust the fire inside you, move confidently toward your destiny, and watch as the world changes because of your brilliance. This is your time. This is your rise. This is your revolution. Take the first step and let the world see your power. Now they beg, now they plead, their faces twisted in false displays of sorrow as they scramble to rewrite the narrative they crafted with malice. These performances, drenched in the theatrics of regret, fall flat in the presence of your clarity and the ancient forces watching over you. Their tears, too polished, too staged, fool no one, not the spiritual powers who govern the balance, nor you, the one they tried to undermine. Watch how quickly the charade crumbles when they realize that empathy cannot be bargained for, and how their scripted remorse dissolves into frustration when their manipulation fails to yield the forgiveness they seek. The act of sorrow shifts effortlessly into anger. Their feigned humility morphs into indignation when their expectations aren't met. They no longer have the luxury of pretending, for you see through the performance, and the universe sees through them. What they fail to grasp is that true repentance cannot be staged. It is a transformation of the soul, an embodiment of humility and growth that is seen in every action, not spoken in empty words. It is not a performance designed to elicit pity or offer a quick escape from the consequences of their choices. True repentance is an unwavering commitment to change, shown through steadfast actions, not the fleeting promises made in moments of desperation. Their tears, crafted with calculated intent, cannot move the hand of divine justice. For justice is not swayed by the tides of human emotion or the artifice of manipulation. It operates beyond time, beyond the reach of their temporary theatrics, and it delivers what is due not based on what they desire, but on what is necessary to restore the sacred balance they disrupted. The cosmic scales are impartial, and no performance, no matter how heartfelt or convincing, can alter the weight of what must be balanced. True transformation, true understanding, is not a gift freely given. It is earned through the soul's trials and tribulations. Some lessons cannot be learned through words or warnings. They must be etched into the heart through experience, lived and felt with every fiber of being. Wisdom is not a gift handed over willingly. It is carved into the spirit through the scars of loss, the sharp sting of consequences, and the humbling clarity that arises only from the depths of suffering. These are the forces that shape the soul, the forces that ensure that no action, no betrayal, goes unanswered in the vast ledger of the universe. Only when the balance is struck can true growth occur, and the soul awaken to its higher purpose. Their crocodile tears are nothing but the first whispers of the lesson they must face, not the resolution of their cosmic debt. Authentic tears, born of true remorse and deep understanding, are a river that cleanses the soul, washing away the stains of past actions and allowing for real transformation to take root. These are tears that come from a place of growth, of humility, and they hold the power to heal wounds that go far beyond the surface. But the tears they shed are empty, moisture on their skin with no depth in their hearts, leaving their spirits as parched as they were before. They cannot fool the universe, for the essence of their remorse is hollow. True repentance isn't felt in the eyes, but in the spirit, where the echoes of sincerity reverberate and guide the soul toward genuine redemption. There is an undeniable strength in your silence now, a sacred power in your ability to stand apart and watch as the wheels of cosmic justice turn. From your elevated vantage point, the drama of fate plays out with divine precision, and you see the intricate web of cause and effect unfolding with perfect timing. You've transcended the chaos of the battlefield, stepping into a realm where the forces of the universe align to restore balance. The satisfaction you feel as karma settles its scores is not rooted in vengeance, but in the profound restoration of harmony, an acknowledgement of the rightful place you occupy in the grand design. It is a validation of your journey, a cosmic confirmation that your worth is recognized not just by the world, but by the very forces that govern existence itself.